All right, welcome and thank you for coming to the NCAA Volleyball Regional hosted by the University of San Diego. Up here we have the USC Trojans who will play the Kansas Jayhawks tomorrow at 8 p.m. in the round of 8 right here at the University of San Diego. Up here we have head coach Mick Haley, seniors Samantha Bricio, Alicia Ogums, and freshman Elise Ford. We'll open up with an opening statement from Coach, and then we'll open up the floor to questions.
Well, we're really pleased to have been able to win tonight and advance. Obviously, that was the goal. Thought we struggled a little bit with our rhythm, but I think you have to give Creighton a little credit for that. And I think that we're going to need to be a lot better tomorrow against Kansas if we expect to win. So all in all, we're very happy to have gotten this far so far, and I thought we had some good performances on defense, and some people carried pretty heavy load. These three up here did a whale of a job tonight, and I think we're all very proud of them. But the whole team is working hard to really get back into rhythm. I know all the teams have the same thing, but you really have to appreciate all these student athletes that study for finals and try to win a national championship at the same time, and we're really happy to be one of the top 8 teams right now, and hopefully we can have a chance to get to Omaha tomorrow night.
Sam, after the second set, and you came back after the break, you had a conversation with the R2 that went on for a little bit. What was that all?
With who, sorry?
With the down referee.
Oh, he was talking about us screening when we were serving. And yeah, I was just telling him that we were just in a competition. They were screening us, so we were screening them. Yeah, that was it.
And did it stop after the second set?
Not really.
Does it ever, really?
It doesn't ever stop.
Let's be honest, yeah.
You just make it more discreet, like, I am, but not really.
And then Alicia, the first set, it was I think 17-15, and you went down pretty hard and you come out. What was that?
One of their players came under the net on my right foot. That's not my injured foot, so it was fine. But it kind of hurt a little bit.
Mick, you mentioned you guys got to play better tomorrow night. Any specific areas or anything from Kansas' side that concerns you?
Well, stuff on our side of the net, just our serving and passing. You know, we're a lot better than we showed tonight, or have been all season, and so that happens sometimes, and I thought the kids battled through it, but it didn't look like they were having enough fun. You know, I thought we should have been having more fun. You know, we're playing to try to get to Omaha and have a chance to win the national championship, and you know, it should be a battle, but it should be fun. We shouldn't feel like it's not fun. We should accept the challenge, and so I think we have to do that better tomorrow night. You know, Kansas is going to come out and they're going to come to play. So if we don't show up ready to play, we'll be at the disadvantage.
How much of tomorrow is studying Kansas, or still concentrating on your stuff?
Well, there's a lot to be said for doing what you do really well, you know, and I think that's the place to start, and certainly we'll have a game plan for Kansas, but we need to do what we do well, and if we can do that, then we can make adjustments during matches. We're pretty good at that, and our players are pretty smart about that. They understand the game, and there were some just really heady volleyball plays that went on in that match tonight. And then there were some that were not very heady. And so, you know, we want to eliminate those and improve the others if we can. So I think we started home with that.
Sam, do you agree with what he just said about there being some heady and some not? And if so, why does that happen during the tournament? I mean, what's different about the tournament in terms of the way you guys are thinking?
I think it's just, you know, we're in playoffs. You have to win in order to keep going. So I think that's one little thing that puts a little bit more pressure on you. And also, like Mick said, right now we're in finals, so we have to, I mean, our minds is like, we have to study, we have to pass this class, but we also have to play, you know. I think we have to do a little bit of a better job, just like separating those two.
Elise, you've had one of your most productive nights in a while. Was it just something seeing the net, finding rhythm? What kind of played into that?
For the past couple of weeks, we've been working on rhythm with the setters, so I've been a lot better with that type of stuff. And then just before the game, having like Alicia and Sam like tell me like, hey, it's just another game, like just chill out pretty much. So that helped a lot as well.
So Nick, sometimes you had, you were running a 6-2, other times a 5-1. So pattern you've had before, we haven't seen enough of your matches. Is there something going on tonight?
Well, we've done this all year. Sometimes it just changes the rhythm. You know, we have two setters that they're obviously different. Sometimes it gives us a different look. Sometimes it creates a little different focus. You know, we like Brittany serving. She served over a 2-1 tonight, which was really good. You know, in our statistical system, if we can have our team approach a 1-7 or higher, that's really good, and we watch that constantly during the match. So we were doing a bunch of things to try to make incremental increases in our performance. And some rotations, when you change like that, gives a different look to the server of the other team, and it makes her think a little bit differently about how she serves. So a lot of different little things you do to try to create some kind of break in the intensity or the focus of the opponents. And it doesn't always have to do with what players on our side are doing. You know, sometimes you substitute somebody out for only a play just because you want to break the momentum or you don't want to take a timeout. So there's a lot of different things. We were going to maybe do some of that there late in the fourth. I brought one player up and she kept right on going. I thought I was going to have to tackle her before she got into the substitution zone. So, but I'm glad she was ready to play, so that's good.
Alicia, Nick is the kind of coach that even if there's been a pretty good hit or kill by you guys, he's just as likely to be up off the bench looking like he's unhappy about something. And are you seeing more of that in tournament time, or do you agree at all with the statement I just made? Start with that.
I think Mick knows that there's always room for improvement for sure. Like even if like I got a couple kills or whatever on the 3, it was working really well tonight. Like he was still telling me different places I could still score, so I think that's really helpful during the game. But he's like always supportive, honestly. It's like not anything like to like harm you personally kind of thing, you know. It's just like a little extra information. Yeah.
I think that's about right.
Yeah.
Coach talked a little bit about when you guys having fun, and when you had the Cleveland State to San Diego, it seemed like you had more fun in that second match. Is that something you guys can see finding tomorrow night?
Yeah, it does seem a little bit like that, doesn't it? That's what kind of bothered me a little bit tonight. I thought we'd get that out of our system in the first week, but I don't know. I think the first match of a 2-match segment is always the hardest match. And then when you play the second match of that night, you're sitting around in the locker rooms twiddling your thumbs, and it's hot in there, and there's no place to go, and there's not a second gym to warm up in. And if you watched all the matches tonight, the second match in almost every place that was played tonight started off slow. There were more errors than there were good plays, and teams had to build into it. And I think it's difficult. It's something I wish I could make a good suggestion to the tournament committee to help the teams, because we want 8 great matches, you know, not just the first match to be great. And that day is awfully long. You get up at 8 o'clock and you don't play until 8 o'clock. That's 12 plus hours that you're trying to kill. If you let them study, you know, one eye's going one way and the other eye's going the other way by the time they get to the gym, so you don't want them to study. And then what do they do? Sit around and look at each other all day? It's right? Isn't that the toughest thing about playing the second match on the first day?
Yeah.
So it's hard, and we just have to learn to be better at it, I think. The big deal is we got through both of those, right? So now we'll be ready to play tomorrow night, I'm pretty sure.
Two things are changing with the tournament. One pretty serious and one very kind of silly. Silly went first, I'll ask for the players. The refs all of a sudden show up in colored shirts. And apparently going to do something like that, like the soccer refs do, starting next year. They're not going to just wear white. Did you notice? Is it cool? Do you not like it? You got Sam? What?
I noticed. I just thought it was something. I was trying to remember if like past years they did that in the tournament, but I couldn't. So I guess yeah.
Yeah,
it's
I
new.
thought they were wearing like warm-ups. Like I thought they were like gonna wear that for like the first little bit and then like change into their normal stuff, but they didn't change. So.
I'd say from now on, we're going to have the rotating ones in regular season too. But the more serious one, Nick, is that if this had been next year, you would have hosted this round under the new system of the high seed. It's a good thing, bad thing?
Bad thing. Turquoise on blue is bad.
The question is hosting.
You know, I know, but I just was kind of commenting. You didn't ask me to comment on that, so I thought I'd just throw that in. You know, if we're going to have blue court, then we ought to get something that goes with the blue if we're going for referees. All right, I'll be serious. The thing I think is there's a number of bad things about the high seed hosting regionals. First of all, that probably means the high seed will stay home for 2 weeks in a row. That means that you can't schedule in that facility for 6 days out of 14, and there are other sports that use the same facility. So that means that some schools will go to their secondary facility, which is not really where our sport is headed. Our sport is, in my opinion, the #1 women's sport in the country, and we ought to be playing in the top venues and having the opportunity to draw 5,000 to 7,000 or more fans every night. And that was fun tonight. Watched all the plays of the 4 teams that competed out there tonight. There were some great plays, great effort. It's the best family entertainment, I think, out there. And people appreciate that, and we need to play in the top venue in the towns we're in. But the regionals need to be neutral. 4 teams come, they've worked all year, and they go to one site, and no one should have a home court advantage for the most part. And yet we have that when we bid, so you know in advance, so teams come and play in your facility the first part of the year so they get used to it. But there's one other point that I'm losing here that I wanted to, if I'm an athletic director and I'm sponsoring a Division I women's volleyball team and I put $780,000 into that program, and then I find that only 4 or 5 teams are getting to the Final Four every year and it's the same teams, why should I put my money into that sport and instead of putting it into another sport where I could get to the Final Four? And I really think you have to think about that a little bit. And I'm not trying to be controversial here, but I think in all fairness, it's probably okay to have the higher seeds host the first 16 rounds. They've earned that. I think that's fair. But when we get to regionals, I think predetermined regionals, and I fought for this when I was on the committee. So I really feel like I still believe in this, even though the attendance hasn't been as good. We're getting there. And the national attendance on TV is unbelievable. I mean, families hunker down all day tomorrow to watch all 4 of these matches. And it's a very special weekend for American families. Everybody that, moms who have played collegiate volleyball and families who have young daughters who played, and even the guys love to watch. So that's why I think it's a bad deal to go to this other system. And I think it's bad for the other sports. I mean, how can a men's or women's basketball team lose Thursday, Friday, Saturday, 2 weeks in a row and can't schedule at home for 2 weeks? We'd complain about that if we couldn't schedule at home for 2 weeks with women's volleyball. So it makes sense to me that that's not a good move and we should reconsider.
All right, thank you.